Going. Okay.
Okay.
So, hang on a second. Roll again.
Camera steering.
Yep. Okay. So, we at all concerned that this might have some kind of an impact on the daredevil plans you had?
Well, initially when I was in the hospital, they didn't give me a whole lot of information, which was weird. I just kind of laid there, and then around like 11, a lady was like, "Yeah, like you were good to leave at 10." So I was like, "Oh, okay." But I asked a nurse like, "How long do I need to wait?" And she was like, "I wouldn't lift over 5 pounds for at least 6 weeks." And I heard like another doctor said like, or another nurse, sorry, said like, "Don't lift over 10 pounds for at least a few days." So it's like, that is extremely conflicting. I don't know what to do. So I figured I tend to heal pretty quickly, I've noticed. So like in past situations, so I figured I'll give it a few days, see how I'm feeling. By the time iFly comes around, I guess I'll make my decision then. But I went to a doctor the day before we went to iFly, I guess, and he said, "Yeah, you're good to go. Like you're healing great. Just come back to me if you have pain or anything like that." So yeah, I went to iFly and they have this little sort of testing bench that you lay down on and practice your technique on, and I laid down on that and it was fine. The only problem was like I had a bit of pressure on my stomach because I was laying on a bench, but there is no that wouldn't affect me in the air tunnel because I wouldn't be laying on a bench, I'd be floating in air. The worst part though was the stretching. Afterwards I could feel my stomach had gone through a little bit of perturbation from me stretching the stitches and stretching the muscles that had been tightened just from the shock it had been through. But otherwise, I'm completely fine. Like, I'm stoked to go skydiving on Tuesday.
Now, what about the um, describe that feeling that you had when you were at that door and you just gotta like kind of let go and talk me through that. And how did that feel?
Well, I describe it as, well, I was pumped. I was completely I was at a state of mind where you're not in your mind, you're completely in the moment. Sort of like if you've ever been to a swimming pool and they've got the 10-meter diving board, like the really tall one, and you're standing on the edge of it looking down thinking, "Oh shit, I got to jump." It's kind of like that. Like if you think about it, you're not going to jump, you're just going to stand there thinking about it. So you just got to take a few steps back and then run into it. So I was just standing at the door and my mind was completely everywhere in that moment at once, so to speak. So Gary, our instructor, you fall into his arms. So I was just like, I just put my arms up and fell. The next thing I knew, I was erratically floating, tumbling 5 feet off the ground in the air. It was, it, it's, sorry for stuttering, but it's safe to say that was one of the coolest experiences of my life.
And you're anxious to try again?